Vigilante Wednesday here on another episode of the Primetime Kings.
So,
Joined by partner in Primetime King, 24/7, your boy, 24/7 for 24/7 Future Media. How you doing, man?
man, I'm good, man. Thank you. That was a hell of an intro, man. I love them. I love those intros, man. Yeah, man. Hey, hopefully everybody out there is doing well. You know, I'm
Sure.
glad to be here. Look like we have my man Baron Norman Tag. Don't forget to like and share. Thank you, man. The Islington girl. What's up, girl?
Yeah,
Hopefully you're doing
girl.
good. Oh man, she's awesome, man. Thank you for
Yeah,
being
yeah.
here and showing love, man. Great start, V-Dub. Yeah. I love when he does that shit, man. I ain't gonna lie. I don't, whether it's here or it's on his own channel or whether he's with Foulball, man, when he does that, I love it. That's why that shit is classic as fuck, man. So
It's
all
crazy.
good, man.
I feel like it's a wrestler catchphrase that I got over. I got it from the Rock, because like if you watch what he used to say, the millions and millions, he was saying that shit for like 6 months before fans start actually joining in.
Right.
But he just kept doing it. He was just like, I'm going to force motherfuckers to do it, and
Right.
eventually people will say it with him. So that's what I was thinking. Like something I'm just trying to get people to get hyped, get energized for whatever we got to talk about. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. We were talking a little bit too much pre-show. But
Yeah.
I was like, man, we need to put some of this on for the show. Some of it was, between us, but some of it was like
Right.
talking about we were talking about Warner Brothers, man. We were talking about Warner Brothers. They got this game.
Yeah,
They made it to a mobile game instead of a real game.
Right. They have like Warner Brothers, they're trying to have like a Super Smash Brothers type of game. And the first place that, the first thing that me and Vigilante were saying that they fucked up in was it's going to be a mobile game. So already, looking at how people feel about mobile games, and yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people that do play them, but it's not going to be on the level of a Super Smash Brothers because it's not going to be on all consoles and stuff like that. And we were just talking about how actually it's going to be interesting. The one thing I find interesting is they're going to have Shaggy on there, and it's going to be I forgot what they call them. They call
Ultra
them
Instinct.
Ultra Instinct Shaggy. Yeah.
Yes.
And that's what I want to. I want to see his character in the fighting game, and it's cool as fuck. It's like I found out what his origin was the other day. Hold on, and with that, Mark the Infinitely Tired. Yo, what's up, man? Swinging by to drop that like while I'm cooking dinner. Yo, Mark, I appreciate you, man. It's been a minute since you've been here, but I appreciate you showing up, man. Baron Norman Tax says Warner's is loony. Yeah, Warner Brothers is loony, man. One thing I saw with this with Shaggy was what happens is he ends up swallowing this jewel or a diamond or something. He eats everything. So basically he ends up swallowing this jewel or this diamond that comes from the realm of Double Dragon, and it gives him Super Saiyan power. So basically when he goes Ultra Instinct, it's tied into Dragon Ball Z or Dragon Ball.
Is it? I thought it was a Mortal Kombat thing. I actually Ultra Instinct. Let me see Ultra Instinct Shaggy. I think you're right. I think it is a Dragon Ball thing.
And so what it is he ends up eating this jewel or this diamond. He ends up getting Saiyan like powers. But they say that when he becomes this Ultra Instinct Shaggy, everything that you know of Shaggy is ass backwards. Like he's unafraid of shit. Like he's like instead of him being like goofy or whatever, he's fucking gangster as fuck. Like he's just like he's on some next level shit. And I'm like, well, damn. That's why in that Mortal Kombat, like he's definitely stronger than Sub-Zero and him. So when I seen that little clip of him grabbing, I think it was a Sub-Zero by the neck or Scorpion, yeah, and fucking yanked him in, and he looked like what? I was like, yo, that was some good shit, man. And yeah, it was good to see, Shaggy. I love Scooby-Doo, man. I I grab all the Scooby-Doo movies. It's hard to find like I go, to pawn shops to get like seasons and stuff, but to find seasons of like Scooby-Doo, it's hard, man. Because a lot of people never went that far back. Like you can buy it, it's available, but it's not something somebody would automatically run to a store to buy so that you can see a shitload of them in a pawn shop.
Mm-hmm.
There's a bunch of other shit people would buy before somebody would buy an old school Scooby-Doo cartoon like season 1 or season 2 from the 60s and 70s.
Yeah.
It's like nobody's really, it's like somebody saying, oh, guess what? I'm going to buy the I Dream of Jeannie. Come on, man. Like, of course I got it, but
yeah,
what I'm saying is, or like MASH, like who's like old school shit like that. People just ain't going out of their way to buy it. So it's harder to find because that's not what you find in everybody's household. To where when somebody needs a little money, they'll pawn off their shit. People just ain't buying it like that. You have to be a real Scooby-Doo fan to buy, the Scooby-Doo seasons and TV shows and the movies and everything else.
So specials with Don Knotts in the 70s and shit.
Oh man, yeah, man, they had a whole bunch of stars. I remember the Harlem Globetrotters, and they had Adam West and Burt Ward as Batman and Robin.
Yep.
Yeah, they had a whole bunch of good shit, man.
That was dope. Just on that note, buy physical media. I've been meaning to get SWAT Cats on either DVD or Blu-ray.
I remember SWAT Cats. That was like I remember them. They were like
mechanics.
Yeah, man.
They had a jet underneath they shop.
Yeah.
And they would fight crime. They were cool as shit. And I'm like, man, I've been wanting to get a lot of physical media of a lot of cartoons, and I've just been slacking on it. But that's something I need to do because it's like that they are trying to turn everything digital, not just physical media, like your programs. They want Windows and all this other shit. And, they don't want you to own that shit. Just pay us monthly. And so everything's streaming service, everything is pay us monthly. Like, no, I want this physical media. Y'all might forget SWAT Cats existed and never release it. So I need this physical. You know what I mean? Y'all might forget I Dream of Jeannie, because like you said, people don't really look
like
for
that
the 60s stuff.
Yeah, it's like that and Bewitched, and and it's like, dude, there's so many shows out there that were good shows, but even though they'll sit there and release it now, that's not everybody's go-to. That's not their they want new shit or newer shit. They're not going that far back to get Alice from when she fucking working in Mel's Diner. Like, people don't give a fuck about that kind of shit. Too Close for Comfort. Who's talking about, oh, they just released season 3 of Too Close for Comfort? I gotta go scoop that up at fucking Target. Ain't nobody's talking about that shit. Yeah. So the thing is, you could go to Target and find that, but like a lot of people would sit there and buy a lot of movies, a lot of seasons of a lot of shit, and dude, how many times I went to the pawn shop and seen the Titanic movie? Like shit like that. It's like, a lot of people bought that. So you go to pawn shops, you can see Titanic, whether it's the regular edition, the commemorative edition, the anniversary edition, the collector's edition, or the special edition. You see all different kinds of Titanics, because that was, a hot movie. People have a little couple, few memories about it. But shit, as far as like, old school shit, Good Times, Give Me a Break, All in the Family, The Jeffersons, dude, it's so much shit out there. Maude, That's My Mama. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's so much shit out there. I used to watch all of them, and I got bits and pieces of that. And I can't say that, oh, I got the whole collection of this. I know one thing I do have is I have the whole collection of Sanford and Son. I got the whole box set. Ooh. Dude, I seen that for like $5, man. I jumped on that shit so fast. I looked around and was like, dog, people walking past it. I was like, what you just walk past?
Yeah.
That's Fred G. Sanford, and G stands for go get that shit. You know what I'm saying? I was like, shit, yeah, man. I miss old school shit, man. My Mother the Car. Hey, you ever seen that show, Vigilante?
I've never heard My Mother the Car.
Look, I'm gonna tell you something. You can go on YouTube and watch the episodes. Like, look up My Mother the Car. This shit is so wild. This show came out in the 60s, like right around with Leave It to Beaver and all that shit. Leave It to Beaver,
It was one season and it was 1965 to 19. But your seasons back in the day, they might put 50 episodes in the season.
Yeah. That would be
You
about a
know
good
what I
30.
mean?
That would be a good 30, 40 episodes. Yeah, you're right, man.
Because they don't play around. Batman's only 3 seasons, got like 100 some odd. I got the collectors. I mean, not the collector set, but I got the full set of Batman, the 60s version. And I mean, it's like 120 episodes in 3 seasons. They got it in back then. They didn't play around with no season. But I gotta check out My Mother the Car. That's
look, this is the thing.
Crazy.
So this dude's mom.
Fuck.
Look,
that's what I mean.
The premise of this show, man. This dude's mom, right, passes away, and he gets married. He have kids or whatever. The mama comes back to life as his car.
Fuck.
So his mother is resurrected as the car that he's driving. And
crazy
and the car gets the kids and sits there and talks to them and gets them out of trouble and the whole shit. And it was like, what the fuck? Like that's it's a comedy. But you know what's funny? I heard they were trying to remake that motherfucker, man. I heard they're trying to remake it. So if you look to see if they're trying to remake it, you'll see that, yeah, man, they're trying to do a remake of that. But I'm like, how would that pass in 2020, 2022 or whatever, or 2021?
Yeah. 2022, 2023, whenever. So like, here's the wild thing. First off, I was right. They did have a wild ass season. 30 episodes. One season, 30 episodes. That's 3 seasons nowadays. Sometimes
it is.
That's 3 or 4 seasons now. They got that shit done in one. And it's all on YouTube. They got the whole series is on YouTube. If you don't want to take the plunge and buy it, you can watch it for free on YouTube. So the complete series. It's a channel. What is the channel called? Let me just share it because it was a Killer Dina Mo8. I don't know. I'll just share the screen. Share the audio. My Mother the fucking Car. Hell, I mean, this is the channel name, Killer Dina Mo8, Dynamo 8. They have, like I said, 30 episodes.
Hey, you know what? Hey, shit. Yeah, pump the fucking intro.
Okay, we'll just play the intro, the first.
Yeah.
This is what we was dealing with back in the days. I might grab some of this music to sample. So there you go. Shit feel like a bunch of bigots and white supremacists are about. Just joking.
That's it right there. The fixer upper. Oh. That's Moms.
Wow. And that car look like it's from like the 40s. I mean, granted, it's the 60s. So
yeah, that looks like some shit that the Beverly Hillbillies were fucking driving.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't want My Mother the Car. But like, who the fuck owns My Mother the Car's the rights to that? Of course, it fell apart.
Fixer upper. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'll fix that shit up. This is the intro.
This is just the first episode, man. So I don't know if they have the intro.
Yeah, probably if you do
later.
The second.
Okay, I just went to. Maybe they don't have the intro. Oh.
No, because what it is they'll show a little bit of what's happening and then the intro will come in.
Okay.
You know how they used to do in shows.
Yeah. Okay. It's like somebody being robbed. I don't want to get. Oh. Okay.
I don't. Trying to fucking steal the car and shit.
I kind of, if you want, I'll look for the intro separately because I think I don't want to get you in too much more trouble because I know you got the. Let's see. You got the craziness with the
Yeah.
So yeah, I found the intro separately.
Oh, you found it?
Yeah. So you go.
All right, let's do it. Hey, look, everybody, the intro to My Mother the Car.
Oh, so they painted it up.
Yeah, they fixed. Must be Dick. What?
This shit seem wild. This shit seem wild. What's going on with this music? What's going on with this fucking music?
Oh shit!
1928 car. This is a wild ass intro. I can't believe that was produced, man.
Yeah, man, that's a
60s
damn
is
show.
a wild place.
Damn.
60s was a wild place.
Fucking Jerry Van Dyke.
Jerry
Like,
Van Dyke.
Yeah, I wonder if that's Dick's brother.
It looked like it.
Yeah, he kind of favored Dick Van Dyke. So
yeah, so
you'd be
that's why I was
surprised, man. I think he, if I'm not mistaken, I think he did have a brother in Hollywood, man. So that might have been him. And actually, that's around the time where they were doing Dick Van Dyke was doing
yeah, he's a younger brother. He's his younger brother.
That's his younger brother. Yeah, and that's around the time they were doing Mary Poppins, man.
Damn. One thing about that era when it comes to like filming shit,
Right.
they got shit in, man. It wasn't we filmed something that shit take 2 years for you to see it. No, they will film, cut it, get the shit out, have you filming something else. Motherfuckers filming multiple movies, multiple shows, all like in the same year. And like you don't get that now. They don't. It's fun. We got all this technology, but it's less of a turnaround. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Hell yeah, man. You know, I just saw over in the chat.
Jerry Van Dyke passed up on being Gilligan for that show. Wow, he missed the boat on that one.
He said,
"Rough Girl, bro." I was thinking the same thing. So he's inside of his mom and he's riding his mom. There's something wrong about that.
Avery Skyler was a next door neighbor who wanted the car. Wow. Being Gilligan for Gilligan's Island for that show, true. Yeah, it's that's interesting. Jerry Van Dyke turned on Gilligan's Island for the show. He later did Coach. Yeah, he was actually pretty good at Coach. I love Coach, man. Zach said, "What's up, everybody? What's up, Rough Girl? What's up, Pat S?
What's up, girl?
Good, man.
Zach, Pat S, Baron on the tap. The whole crew. Appreciate all of you.
Oh yeah, man. Thank y'all, man. The womb mobile. Oh, come on,
boy.
Baron. Oh shit. Yeah, man. It's been I've watched a few episodes, man. Dude, I tell you what, y'all forgive me, but a good blunt, hey. Yo,
shit like that hits.
Hey, I tell you what, man. It's amusing, man. It's a wholesome family show. It's not fucked. I mean, the premise. Come on, we 2021 thinking about what came out about a good fucking 50,
60 years ago.
Yeah, 50, 60 years ago. But back then, you know, and I mean, Rough Girl's right. Yeah, he's riding around in his mama, but you know, but it's crazy how, you know, like the whole premise of that, and them and like I was telling Vigilante, yeah, they're trying to. I heard them talking about, like, maybe you could probably see it, but they were talking about doing a remake, and I was like, how would a remake, like in 2021, 2022, 2023, look like for, you know, My Mama the Car? Now, of course, it wouldn't be no beat up ass car. What you gonna do? Have her, you know, like old busted ass, you know, busted up ass Cadillac or some
like actually 80s car?
Looking at how that show was, it had to be like a real old school ass, weird ass car.
Probably like an old school. Maybe you said Cadillac. It might be an old school Cadillac, the 80s, 70s Cadillac. That's
right.
Kind of a iconic looking car. Because once they painted it up, I'm like, okay, that's a clean car. I don't see a remake.
You don't hear, you didn't see nothing about them trying to remake it. Like if you say, you know, remake of My Mother the Car or something like that, you know.
Yeah, I just I'll go ahead and share what I'm searching in the Google machine. So it is Google. So take that with the grain. But yeah, man, it just says when I look up my Mother of the Car remake, and actually let me check it even the Wikipedia
Or reboot.
page. I'll check the Wikipedia page. They should. Okay, it says ownership status. MGM has it, so that means Amazon has it. So Amazon's the people who
Right.
have the rights because they just bought MGM.
That's true. You're right.
So I mean, it just says it's on MGM's YouTube channel. It's on Hulu apparently. Like I said, I found another YouTube channel. But when I go back to the search screen, My Mother the Car remake, I don't see much of anything.
Baron said, "Hey, this is my fault."
It is. You brought up
it is your
this show
fault.
existed.
You bigot.
Yeah, fucking bigot. My Mother the Car. It looks like it was surrounded by bigotry.
Oh,
I thought there wasn't no black people in My Mother the Car. Racism. Actually, I'm not joking. Probably has something to do with it.
oh shit.
But like, no, seriously, I don't. I mean, maybe there was some black people. What am I talking about? What if it was? I didn't see
Hey,
My
Kitty
Mother the
Child,
Car.
what's going on, man? Roll
I
tight.
got y'all looking at what I'm looking at.
Roll tight.
But yeah, I can't find a remake. I don't see a
Oh,
remake.
you don't hear nothing about? Yeah, it was something that I saw about maybe 6 to 8 months ago, where they were, they talked about rebooting it or remaking it, and I was like, wow, how the fuck would that work? And
I would go ahead and say they shouldn't do that.
yeah, no, I'm with you. I don't think they should be fucking with that, man.
I think that's the time and the place.
What's this? What girl say? Give me some of that beat.
That's R. Kelly. R. Kelly.
My girl, look at you.
Remixing
That's some funny shit. Yeah, that's what's up, bro, girl. That's funny shit. Patriots beat the snot out of Atlanta. Wow. You know what? I don't even watch, man, dude. I'm so beyond sports at this moment.
I keep up somewhat with basketball. I've kept up, and they've been you know what, a lot of these sports have kind of got out of wokeness. There's some of it, but they're not doing the hardcore wokeness, and honestly it's the better for it. And I think there's a lot more interest in sports. I think a lot of people they want to just, at the end of the day, we all just want to kick back and escape, man.
Right.
That's all we do. That's all we want. And that's all we want. That's what all we want from entertainment. That's all we want from sports, which is the extension of entertainment. And so I think, I didn't see Ghostbusters Afterlife. I wanted to. I slept in all day. I still want to try to see it sometime this week.
I hope in the next few weeks, just sometime I can actually catch it in the theater, man. I mean, I'm cool with DVD and Blu-rays, but that's something that the local theater up the street, ever since COVID hit, man, they shut down, and I heard they're not opening it back up. So there's a movie theater in this is mall called Deerbrook Mall, and that's up the way, and hopefully be able to next week or two be able to go check it out. I definitely want to see it before it leaves theaters, man. And I heard that people were talking shit like, yo, it only made 30 million here, and then I seen it go up to 40 million, then I seen it go up to 50 million, which means that it's like people are starting to watch it, and I heard that it's starting to exceed expectations, man. People were like, hey, you were watching Ghostbusters, and I've watched a lot of talk about it, and a lot of people that don't like it are the folks that rather see Ghostbusters 2016 have a fucking sequel.
Oh, well, then that they can't be. That's
right.
I'm not trying to invalidate your opinion, but I don't take that opinion seriously. Because before. Oh, go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
No. What it was just that a lot of people that are fucking giving the bad reviews are trying to push up 2016. Like, yo, I'd rather have watched a fucking Paul Feig movie or some, that kind of bullshit. So I've seen that a little bit, and that's the kind of pushback. So basically, the critics are shitting on it, and then of course, the audience score is what's fucking skyrocketing.
Because that's all I care about is the audience score anyway.
Yeah, me too, man.
So I had a here's how I am with all media now. y'all, it has to be approved by y'all. Like, I want to see this Arcane because even Kai MFS, shout out to Kai, he taught me what Rex are. And other people are talking about Arcane. I was like, all right, I need to check it out because
Right.
that's what people are talking about. Same thing
Right.
with Ghostbusters. I was skeptical because I'm like, not being woke is not always enough. You could just, all right, we're not woke, and we're just still gonna rehash this corpse of Ghostbusters. Plus, I like that Ghostbusters was only 2 movies. But at the same time, I'm hearing a lot of positive. I'm interested if people, are positive. So let me see the IMDb rating. Actually, let me share it. And actually, let me pull up all the other metrics so we can see what the people think of Ghostbusters. Since we
Baron
'cause
says
that's
my
all that
mother-
matters.
He said, Baron Hormantag says, my mother, the car was The Rock and Whoopi Goldberg as the car. A 1977 Pinto. Oh, shit.
Don't give them any ideas.
Rough Girl says 24/7 Fusion Media, pull up to my bumper. Hey.
Uh-oh.
That's what's up, man. Rough Girl's awesome. Yo, Pat S says Woke Busters.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, the 2016. Yeah, motherfucker's still mad about that. Darth Hasher. What's up, Darth Hasher? He said it is great.
I'm hearing, see, that's what, when you hear positive stuff like that, that's what made me want to see it. I didn't have, because like we forget pre-wokeness, there were shitty remakes still. So I'm like, you can still do a shitty remake and not be woke. So I'm like, y'all tell me it's good, I'm gonna check it out. But actually, let me go ahead and share. Let's see what the people think. We don't care what the critics think. We're gonna check IMDb out. Just has an overall score of 78. Popularity is rising. I'm not an IMDb expert, so yeah. Overall, this is the IMDb rating, 7.8. I'm sorry, not 78, 7.8 out of 10. So that's pretty high. Check the user reviews real quick. Got some 8 out of 10, 7 out of 10s. There's some spoilers we will skip. Some 6 out of 10s, 7 out of 10s.
Well, one thing I heard is that a lot of people are trying to compare it to number 1, and it's one of those things that that's what a lot of people are going to go to. Number 2 is what it is. People are always going to try to. The original is always the best because if you think about it, that's the reason why people come back, because it's number 1. So people came back for 2. Now it's almost 30 years later. Yeah, 30 plus years later. Now they're coming with, this is the official number 3 or 4, depending if you want to call the game Ghostbusters number 2.5, and then call this movie number 3. The thing is that I've thought about it. I haven't watched the movie, but what I've heard from a lot of people is that it looks more like an indie film or like a fan film, and the reason is because of the director. Jason Reitman is kind of like that indie director. He's more of a so his shit has like a fan film, an indie kind of feel to it. So, but you have that. It has basically all the essentials of a true Ghostbusters movie, but it's not told from an adult perspective. It's of course the first 2 movies it was the Ghostbusters movie, but now you're watching it and you're basically you're seeing the kids. So that's probably for the better, for the simple fact that you're looking at it through fresh eyes instead of looking at it through the 3 Ghostbusters that are left. And you have this whole story, and like me, I'm gonna be honest, my whole thing about it, knowing that the characters from number 1 pops up, even the bad guys from the first movie, they pop up in this movie.
I didn't know that.
And because the thing is, when you watch the trailers, you see that the fucking dog, the demon dog or whatever from number 1.
Oh, see,
he's in the trailer.
I didn't know that. I didn't hardly watch the trailer. That's it. Bro. Until people tell me something, I'm like, because I'm so negative on Hollywood. Somebody asked the budget. Looks like it was done for $60 million. I don't see why movies can't be done
And
on
see,
this cheap.
if you think about
Oh,
a
sorry,
budget,
75 in the box office already is at 60. So flip that. But that means they're probably going to make their money back
right?
unless we have crazy Hollywood accounting, which is his own story. We can
And
talk
and
about
you know,
later.
and you know, and if you think about a movie that's shot with a 75 or 80 million dollar budget, that's more on the indie level.
Yeah.
That's not
'Cause they,
that's I mean, of course, there's big time movies that are made, but those are by those aren't your big time your big time directors and producers. They normally go at a range of 200 to 300 million. Now, if you're talking about somebody that's doing $75 million budget for a movie, that movie was to pay off the stars. And it's like, if you look at where they were at, it was a small town. It wasn't in a big city. It was, there's so much other stuff to it. My guess for the movie was that, okay, Egon moves to a spot like Indiana. He's in a little country town or whatever, and all the ghosts start popping up. My first thought was maybe he buried the containment units under the farm, and something had went wrong, and all the ghosts started spewing out, and it was up to the kids to fucking set that shit straight. But then I found out how
don't spoil too much.
No, I'm not. No, I'm saying, but that was my first,
thought,
my first thought. Yeah, that was my guess. Comes to it, it's directly tied specifically to number one, and I'm not going to give it away. But if you look at the trailer gives a lot of it away on its own. So you start seeing old characters. You see Slimer, you see the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, but this big, running around fucking with marshmallow bags and doing all kind of weird shit. So basically, some of the evil from number one is popping up in number three, and the kids try to deal with it. And at the end, the original guys show up, and of course, I had never watched it, so I couldn't tell you what the hell happens. But that's and I looked at that and I was like, you know what, it's fresh, and people just think it was going to be a big time budget, like it was going to be something like Ivan Reitman would have done, put a lot of money into it, done all this shit. And that's just not the case, because his son is not that kind of director. He's not the big time Hollywood director. He's a dude that, he tries to make something happen with a little bit of money. You talking about 75 million. That's not a whole lot, especially for a Ghostbusters movie. Come on, man. Like, look, think about this. If you took number one and let's say, through inflation, the budget that they have for number one, if they were to make number one right now, how much would number one cost?
Probably, let me see. Let me check. Give me a second and I'll tell you. Let me see.
I know I'm on the level of like some Tom Midnight's Edge type shit, but
no, I'm glad you're bringing this up, because like this. So here's the thing. I just covered this week, and this is why I say, it may not make his money back. Wink, wink. So with the movie Bohemian Rhapsody, because that's where the lawsuit exposed this, and apparently this is Hollywood accounting. That movie had $50 million budget of $55 million, made $800 million, but somehow it shows as 50 million in the red, meaning they lost 50 million. So that doesn't make sense, because you should have made 700 million. And how did y'all go lost? But
it's funny because I saw an article about that like in the last like 2 or 3 days. Yeah, and I was like, what the hell is this? But I never did read it. So now that you're telling me what I was looking at, that's fucked up, man. How much?
Funky accounting.
800 million?
Yeah, I'll show you. So real quick, let's first do one thing at a time. Let's move the inflation calculator over here. Let's move Ghostbusters Wikipedia over here. So we see $25 million budget. It came out in June 1984. I'm gonna look at 1984 and 1983 because usually you do. So 1983, what is it? 25 to 30. 25 to 30. Let's go with the highest amount, right? 30,000 million. So sorry about that. And that's 83 million. So that's around similar budget for 83. And if you want to go 84, about 80 million. So 80 to 83 million is what the budget for the original Ghostbusters would translate in today's money. So that would still be a low budget movie.
Wow, that I wouldn't have guessed it. You know, because it looks so high quality. It looks like it. You know, it looks like it took a lot to make it work. But again, when you look at Hollywood back then,
they were more ingenuity. They had more ingenuity about them.
Right?
They would get it done for cheaper.
And a lot of things were done with either stop motion, you know, stop motion cinematography, or they had a lot of puppets.
Yep, and they had puppeteers too. They existed as a whole class of individuals that aren't really around anymore.
Look, I'm gonna tell you something, man. That's the thing that's lost between CGI and old special effects. That's the thing that's missing, man. It's like there's you don't see, like, basically, like I did a video about, maybe it was last week, about Gremlins 3 coming out, and the one thing that, you know, the dude that wrote the article he wrote the script for the first movie, was saying that when they do Gremlins 3, why the fuck keep saying when they do Gremlins 3, they're gonna go back to the puppets and to the stop motion cinematography, just for the simple fact that that's what looks best. Even that shit looks better than CGI.
Yeah, sometimes CGI will never catch up with it, because it doesn't. For CGI to work, everything has to be in that CGI world. It just will not look natural to the human eye. It just can't. They cannot do it even with the most realistic graphics, because once you contrast graphics to the real world, you can tell. If you're in the graphics world, you sometimes can't. You know what I mean? If everything is in, like, when you talk about a video game, you have really high res graphics. Sometimes you can't, because everything has that digital thing. Remember that? What was that anthology series, Love, Robots, and something on Netflix? And there's some
it was Love, Death, and Robots. Yeah.
And there's some really good CGI, and there are scenes where you can barely tell how that is real or that's not real.
Right.
But that's because everything is in that world. If you put, like, a real picture in there, it would stand out like a sore thumb. So I say all that to say, like, CGI, I think now that we are 20, 30 years into it, and we have the highest tech computers that we have, and we still can't really outdo practical effects in a lot of cases, we're starting to learn, it's certain things it just cannot do. I get that you may use it for other things, but I think CGI has limited the storytelling abilities of Hollywood quite a bit. And so seeing a return to practical would be the hugest thing. I think Hollywood needs that for so many reasons. These budgets don't make sense. Like I said, the way the spending is going doesn't make sense. It almost feels like Hollywood is a big Ponzi scheme. You know what I mean? With how, and I mean, I do want to keep on Ghostbusters, but another article that you have put up there was this government subsidy stuff, these ESG funds, which I think already exist, where basically the government is funding, you know, wokeness, funding this sort of you know, more LGBTQ stuff, more race swaps, all this other stuff. And if the government isn't doing it, Wall Street is. There are definitely people with this ESG, which is environmental social governance, which is, you know, sounds authoritarian and socialist, especially, you know, the social part. But so there are people, if you're wondering why, man, they're losing money, why are they still doing this? Well, they're getting money on the back end to do it, either through some grants or some outright funding from certain individuals, which I won't say on this channel, but we'll say on mine. So check me out for all that conspiratorial shit. But it's not conspiratorial. This is no longer something that is you know, we're whispering about. There are people are starting to find out, oh no, they're real. Well, you know, do it.
You know, it's funny you say that. They're not hiding the fact that that's what their agenda is.
Yeah,
it's like, fuck it, I'm out here, this is what I'm doing, I'm promoting wokeness, all this other bullshit, and they're like, fuck it, man. Dude, you know, everybody's bold nowadays, man, to just on all kind of levels, man. So nobody's hiding their intentions, man. You know, people are letting that shit out. Wow. Yeah, Darth Hasher, they're doing Gremlins 3. Matter of fact, it's getting ready to go into production. Gremlins 3 is. You know, I just they got the original script writer there. As far as if Phoebe Cates and Billy and everybody's coming back, that's what you know what I found out? Howie Mandel, remember when he did Bobby's World?
Yeah.
He was the voice of Gizmo.
I think I just recently found that out too.
And I was
think
like,
somebody
what the
said
fuck?
it. I had
And
no clue.
and then when I think about Bobby's World and how Bobby used to talk, he sounded like a Gizmo. He sounded like Gizmo that can actually talk and come out with words like Gizmo. He said Mogwai and he said Billy. That's about the most he said. That other than that, he didn't say shit. He said and he made noises and you heard him make Howie Mandel, Gremlin Star and Mountain Dew. Yeah. It's funny how Howie Mandel's not even the voice of Gizmo no more. And I'm like, why would you unless he's asking for too much money, why would you not put him back in, man?
Yeah, and I mean he can't be asking for that much because he's somewhat active in, he did the game show circuit for a little bit and he's like a host type guy. Right. But he can't be asking for that much. One thing I wanted to say, my man Baron Ormantag said something in the chat that I actually slightly disagree with. He said there's more waste of budgeting movies today. I don't think, yes, you do have waste and you do have, the unions have, every step of the movie making process is a little bit more expensive because you got to pay the people a little bit more, which isn't the worst thing. These people deserve their money. But what happens is there's intentional overspending. It's money laundering. Knock on wood, allegedly, whatever I say to not get anyone sued. But I think there's a lot of money laundering going on with these films. And when they're doing things to spend money, they have this back end capital of people who just want to see the world burn and see a bunch of wokeness and division and everything. And then you have this, Wonder Woman was a $200 million movie, Wonder Woman 84, and I'm like, there's no way there was $200 million spent on that production. There's just no way it could be the case. And a lot of these movies report higher budgets. And that money is going somewhere else. So it's not waste. It's intentionally being done. Right. That's my thought. It's been intentionally done for nefarious accounting, so to speak.
And it's like, you have to wonder, like a lot of whether it's the director, the producer, there's somebody involved that has plans for this money and would sit there and make up different ways in how this money is being spent. Like basically they'll sit there and say, oh yeah, the catering costs or this costs that and blah blah blah. And the money's going somewhere, man.
Yeah.
And it's not going into making the actual movie better. So there's a lot of people that get paid off of these movies, but it's not anything that you can it's not anything that you can see on the screen. There's a lot of behind the scenes type shits. And it's, you can just imagine how much money actually gets fucked off when a movie's being made that actually does not get applied to the movie itself. And a lot of it is getting put into people's pockets. People are hooking each other up on some other shit. And dude, so you see movies with high fucking budgets, everybody got paid. And then when the movie ends up being trash, and you look at the returns that the movie makes, it doesn't justify, you spending 200 or 250 or 300 million for a movie that looks like you spent maybe a little bit more than 100 million on, and you wondering what the fuck happened to the rest of the money and all this other shit. It's like, dude, I don't know, man. It's so fucked up, and it's a big game with them, man. And basically, who suffers? The motherfuckers that are paying the bill and us, because we're the ones that pay to watch it, and come to find out that we're watching a bunch of trash.
Yeah, and in some cases, our taxpayer dollars are going to foot the bill. A lot of this shit.
That's true. Yeah,
and so we are, even if you're not watching, you might be paying for it.
Right.
So there's something really corrupt about the accounting in Hollywood. I mean, shit, we heard about Disney counting their numbers twice, and then the accountant that figures that out, she ends up fired and on GoFundMe trying to pay her bills. So, like, there's something really wicked about what's going on with this accounting and what's going on with this money and what's going on with these budgets in general, because we saw, they essentially made Ghostbusters Afterlife for what they made the original Ghostbusters for when you account for inflation.
Yeah,
you account for inflation, same budget, basically. Same budget.
Or even like what, maybe about 5 or 10 million.
Yeah, a little cheaper.
Yeah.
Because it was as high as 83, it cost them about 75. So it could be as much as 10 million cheaper than the original Ghostbusters when you account for inflation. So I mean, to go back to that, because we kind of went on a tangent, we actually covered something that we were going to cover anyway, so it worked out. You got to give, and I'm
wait a minute.
Name. What's up?
62% with the tomato meter, and what's that?
96% for the audience. So the critics say 62. The fact that the critics even got as high as 62 shows that this movie has to have something, because the critics don't want to give it this much credit. It's still fresh. The critics still, even though the critics hated it, it's still fresh by the critics' belief. So this speaks to how good this movie must be. A 96% audience score on Rotten, whatever you think Rotten Tomatoes, because they do some shady shit too. But I mean, that's fine. Metacritic, which 47 for the critics, who cares? 8.4. So if you go by the people metric, and remember they are shady, so they're gonna try to push a movie like this down.
Right.
We're still seeing the people like this, and you guys in the chat seem to have liked it. I'm gonna check it out. You guys have gotten me excited where I wasn't before, because I'm like, I don't know. But just hearing that, lower budget, which I think Hollywood needs to do in general, because I think these lower budget movies are going to be made better. We've talked about is we talked about in the 60s how they used to get more movies out. In the 80s, you guys, or in the late 70s, you talk about Alien was an $8 million movie. And the critic, the stuff still holds up, and I can use the inflation calculator for that. It's not gonna say 100, it's gonna say max 30. You know what I mean? So it's still like a $30 million.
$8 million in 1979 got you the first Aliens.
I mean, let's go
back
to
2021 to get you a semi-apologetic Baldwin. Zach.
I mean, really?
Damn.
Get that. I mean,
it's funny. How much was the budget for Rust?
Oh man, I didn't even think about that. Actually, I hit it on the nose. So 8 million inflation, and 79, 30 million. So that's a $30 million budget. Wow. First off, looking at the rate of inflation makes me sick. But the fact that Alien will be a $30 million movie today,
and everything was puppets and dude. It's a lost art. Think about how many puppeteers are actually left to actually do anything sci-fi on the level of like The Never-Ending Story or Gremlins or Legend with Tom Cruise. You remember Legend with Tom Cruise?
Yeah, I do remember Legend with Tom Cruise.
Man, that shit with the unicorns and the fucking devil, dude.
I think a lot of those puppeteers have scaled out. I mean, they don't exist anymore because they were replaced with computer graphics experts and CGI experts, and that's just more expensive. You know what I mean? Programming, and you got to also remember. Here's the thing with the CGI experts: anybody who can do CGI for you can go to a video game company, can do a lot of other things. So you got to pay them a certain amount of money just to keep them in that space. You know what I mean? You can't cheap out on them. So it's like, it's really not worth it. Yeah, you need the Henson Group. How many puppeteers exist? How many people are training for this skill to even be in Hollywood to do it? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean the way they're not used anymore. Like I said, it's a lost art, man, in Hollywood. Dude, I mean, what was the last puppeteer kind of movie that?
Team America.
Nah, but that's on another. Nah,
I don't know. You
know
what I mean?
Man.
Was there another one similar to that? They did, but like that's what I could think of.
Damn.
But check that movie out if y'all have it. It was an older movie made by the
South Park. I remember Team America. I remember that from when I was I was a manager at Blockbuster. I remember Team America. I never watched it though. Cause I was like, nah, fuck that. But I didn't know what it was, man. I'll watch it now though. But shit, man. Wait a minute. Baron Norman Tag says Hollywood is very corrupt, maybe payoffs for the sexual assaults and pedos. You might be right about that. Zach says,
Could be.
allegedly. Pat S says 2016 sucked, but as a person, Leslie Jones is pretty funny.
She can be. There's times where she has been funny.
Yeah, she might have a funny take on something, but she's fucking.
She can be cringy and extra,
Right.
which is part of her gimmick. But there's other times where she can be funny. It just depends on the right, she's all right. She's all right. And no, none of us care about the critics. It's more of just using it as a gauge. To me, the fact I would say this is a case where you can use the critics like this. You can use this Rotten Tomatoes and it has some weight. So what you can see is like it got 62% from a bunch of people who wanted to hate it. So you can say, okay, this movie must be pretty solid if it can get this much percentage from people who want to hate it. And then you see the 96% audience score. And you can do the opposite. If you saw a movie that you know the critics would want to like, and you see like 70%, you're like, damn, this is something they're supposed to love, and they didn't really like it like that, you know it's shitty, because that means they couldn't even stomach it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So you do got to have a little context to know what the critic, because we know, but not normies don't. I get it. Normies just, they just go on and check stuff and go about their life. But we know enough to say, okay, we know what these critics aim for. So if they wanted to hate this and still had to rate it fresh, this shit must be pretty solid. So that's what I'm thinking, at least. And it got me excited to check it out.
Damn.
So
Baron had
the best way to use these idiots.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you're right. It's funny. Baron had a compliment for us, man. He said, honestly, do any of us really care what the critics say? I care more about what 24/7 Fusion Media, V-Dub, Zax, Darth Hasher, Rough Girl, Mexican Iron Man, and the rest, have to say. That's thank you, man. That's a hell of a compliment, man. Shit. And actually, if you guys aren't subscribed to Darth Hasher, a Rough Girl, Mexican Iron Man, or Baron Norman Tag himself, please do, man, because they they got some good shit, man. And at least that whatever they say is honestly coming from their heart, man. Like I'd rather listen to someone that that's real and is speaking straight from the gut than some old ass hat on Rotten Tomatoes, or looking at what's the name that be with Robert Meyer Burnett with the glasses. You know who I'm talking about.
Campia?
Yeah, Campia, man. John Campia. Yeah, it's like, fuck, man. John Campia, man, he I wouldn't trust nothing that he fucking says, man. But Robert Meyer Burnett is the truth, man. So I'd rather, when he speaks, he's another dude that I listen to, even though a lot of people don't agree with his takes. At least he's honest about why, and then he'll even explain to you why he feels a certain way.
Yes, that's the most important thing.
And then that's the most important thing. Like, you might not agree with his take, but you can sit there and see that, hey, he really thought about what the hell he's talking about when he explains himself. And dude, you're not really getting that from nobody else. So like you see John Campia, he'll tell you some shit, and he's all, because that's just what I say. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, how'd you come to this conclusion? And you never get that from him. But Robert Meyer Burnett, you could tell he's been around for a minute. He has his head on straight. And even though you might not agree with the movies that he might tend to enjoy from time to time, you can actually respect, even though you don't agree with his take, you can respect where he's coming from, because he's telling you from a producer or a director's point of view, and the fact that he loves Hollywood and he's been involved with it for so long. You can sit there and listen to what he says, and even though you might not agree, you can just respect the man for his opinion. It's like John Campia can have the same opinion, but you can't respect where it's coming from. There's a difference there, man.
That's a good way of putting it. And honestly, because I find myself watching R&B to make sure, like, to kind of make sure I'm not going too far off the deep end, and myself is like a way of like, okay, I do need somebody who I necessarily may not agree with,
Right.
to just see what they say, especially someone who's again going to explain why they believe what they believe, so I can say, oh, okay, I remember, quick plug for an old show, because we actually had him on the Culture Crime Fighters, and it was like, okay, I understand why somebody thinks this way now, and I needed that. So it's whether you agree or disagree with R&B, he's a really good dude,
Right.
and he's as I know he means well in his heart,
Right.
and he
sincere,
really cares about good entertainment. And so I would say he's an opinion, even if you disagree with, to check out, which I know a lot of you guys already have. So
Yeah, I mean, like I say, I can, I can respect the man's honesty when he's coming from a good place, whether you agree with him or not. He's, with his assessment of movies, he's from he's cut from a different cloth of fabric than a lot of folks, man. So just the fact that of his sincerity and how much he really loves the shit, and he's not no obnoxious asshole like John Campea, and the fact that he's humble and he's real about it, and he's willing to sit there and talk to you, and not like John Campea wouldn't come on Geeks and Gamers, he wouldn't come on Midnight's Edge, he wouldn't come on a lot of channels to talk about some shit the way, look, I see Robert Burnett go on Midnight's Edge last week, and this one dude blasted on him like, yo, he told him straight up, and John Campea had to address the guy, because obviously John Campea read the chat, and the dude was saying, hey man, you shilling, for the Eternals. He's like, you're shilling for, for all these movies and this and that, and basically, we can't trust your opinion anymore. And he squared it off and told him, look, he wasn't disrespectful neither. So the fact that he didn't tell the guy to fuck off makes you think like, well, damn, because I would have told the dude to fuck off. But the fact that he didn't, and he addressed him respectfully and told everybody why he felt the way he felt about the Eternals and why he thought it was something a little bit different. Even though I can't, I didn't agree with him, I respect his perspective. And that's
this is R&B.
Yeah, this R&B, man.
It
was last week, man. Yeah, he was on Midnight's Edge, and somebody in the chat jumped on his ass and told him, yo, man, and kind of called him a shill and told him, yo, you like everything that Marvel's putting out. You like fucking Eternals, you like Shang-Chi and all this whack shit.
Mm-hmm.
And he was
kind of positive on Shang-Chi even. I was positive in the first 40 minutes.
Yeah, but he held firm and he wasn't disrespectful. He's like, yo, I just want to address this real quick. And he told the dude in a nice way why he liked the movie and all this and that. Like, dude, you can't do nothing but to respect him after that, even though you don't agree with him. Yeah, man. Much props to Robert Meyer Burnett, man. I know he'll never watch this shit, but much respect to him, man. I mean,
R&B is the man. I didn't see that, but that's listen, people like it. Like Shang-Chi, I was slight defense of, just because I thought the first 40 minutes and some of the ideas they had were interesting, doing more of a hand-to-hand combat based movie. But then when it swayed away from that, that's when it started to fall apart. And when they went to, even though I think Tony Leung, and I may be mispronouncing the brother's name, the actor who was the villain, he was good throughout, but the rest of the movie started to sway and get really boring. And like the first 40 minutes, I was all in. First 50 minutes, whatever it was, up until like maybe it was the middle. I don't know when it was, but once he, I don't want to spoil it, but gets him and his dad meet, that's when the change happens. But yeah.
My boy Eric K.
Fight. I think that is the same. After that fight in the building, when they going through the building and the building that's being built, after that fight scene, that's when there's a fall off. To me, but Shang-Chi had potential. So somebody, I could understand why somebody likes Shang-Chi after seeing that movie, even though I don't like it. I can watch that and see how if you're not really invested, if you don't really pick up on some of the cucking they do, and if you just like the spectacle or the effects, you might like Shang-Chi. I thought the first half was better than the second half, but you could see this and say, if you just taking out your family for a weekend to go see a movie, you might, oh yeah, we like Shang-Chi, it was cool. You know what I'm saying? So you got to remember, we're the hardcore fans, but there's that middle pack of people who just want to see a movie. You know what I mean? They want to like shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We forget sometimes you do want to like shit, want to be entertained, and just go about your day. And so even if it's something that normies don't notice or somebody else has a different opinion, it's not always because they're shilling. It's not always because they are woke or all this. They just want to turn their head off and watch a movie.
That's true.
So toss that out.
Hell to Eric K. He says
hell to Wrench King of all wrenches.
He says 24/7 Fusion Media. People can have different opinions too. Yeah, you're right about that, my brother. Yeah. You're sure right about that, man. I wasn't trying to. I don't know. It's like I've been watching John Campea for a few years, man.
Yeah, a lot of us have.
And I don't know, man. Of course, he's entitled to his opinion, but it just seems like I don't know. It's different when he gives his opinion, man. And it's like I've seen a lot of people like again, Robert Meyer Burnett. He's I don't agree with some of his takes, but it's just with John Campea, this is what it is. You don't know if it's coming from a genuine place or you don't know if it's something that he's saying because he's trying to make sure that he gets a fucking ticket or he gets his little extras for the next movie that shows up. You don't know if he's trying to like disagree with some shit or you don't know if it's fucking really genuine. That's the hard part about John Campea. It's like you can't tell if it's really fucking genuine or not, man.
Is Disney sliding you an envelope or what? Man?
Yeah, there you go, man. That's the thing. It's a difference between Robert Meyer Burnett able to sit there, people calling him out in the chat, and him addressing it without being malicious. John Campea would have had the motherfuckers. He would have had the mods fucking ban them, all this other shit, and John Campea would rather face it head on, address it, and without talking shit, and just let them know from a sincere place, hey, this is how I looked at it, and this is why I felt the way I did.
Yeah,
it's a huge difference, man. Especially when you've been watching both of these dudes for so long. Yeah, you can tell the difference between. Years. Yeah, man. It's. But Eric K is right. I love Eric K, man. Awesome dude, man. Thank you for even being here, Eric K, man.
Yeah, man.
Man. You're fucking awesome, man. Baron says the charm of 24/7 Fusion Media. I appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. 0 hour discussions with JM Cruz. Wait a minute. Where have I seen him?
He's been around at JM Cruz.
I'm okay because I'm subscribed to JM Cruz and he's here.
You've been checking out. It's funny. I've been meaning to check out his channel just because the name is.
Yeah. Check him out, man. I'm subscribed to JM Cruz, man.
How many mods do we have?
That's why I was fucking held back. Like, yo, I'm subscribed to this dude and he's here. I wonder how you got here, man. But look, I tell you what, man. Any which way you got here, man. Thank you for being here, man. I appreciate you, man. Thank you, man. Yeah, you got some good shit, man. You guys check out JM Cruz, man. 0 hour discussions, man. Good shit. That it says shit. Please share and subscribe. Thank you, man. And hell to Eric K.
Yeah, man. I wish I don't know if I have the power of the mod. I'm actually about to go on YouTube and see.
Yeah, you do here, man.
Oh, yep, I do. I have a wrench. I have the power. So here's
You've had it for some time, man.
Oh, see, I didn't even know.
There you go. V-Dub, it fell flat after the Death Dealer fight. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean for Shang-Chi? Yeah.
But I mean, hey, that first part, like there was work put the in it, and I just put
compared it to the Raid, dude. I got the Raid Redemption and the Raid 2 over here. I heard they were working on a third one, but I have to see it to believe it. But fuck, man, the only thing that compares to the Raid is Dread. The only thing that was close to the Raid to me, like the Raid Redemption, the first one, was Dread, man. That's the only thing that I felt like was on that level, man.
Dread that came out back. What it had to be
Yeah.
like 7-8
2012.
years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was the only thing that I felt like was on the level of the Raid Redemption, and I got it on Blu-ray, 2 discs, and I got the Raid 2 on Blu-ray.
I've
So,
been meaning to check the Raid out.
Matter
I've
of
been
fact,
meaning
I
to
got
check out
shit sitting over here, man. You know, it's
I don't
funny.
have hardly any time. There's a few movies I've been telling myself I'm about to sit and watch. I'm gonna sit and watch. I want to watch the Raid and I want to watch the Ip Man series. And I've been wanting to watch both of these series. I haven't had the time to. But go ahead, man. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No. I was gonna say, you know, it's funny how you know, some folks were talking about the puppeteers, with like Jim Henson and everybody. And I don't know if you guys can see this, man, but this is the Labyrinth. And this is
Shout
on
out to
Blu-ray.
Bowie.
Yeah, man. And I hate that he passed, man. It was
Yeah.
him and Jennifer Connelly.
She
And
was younger back then, right? She was
oh
like a
man,
kid.
she was too young, man. You know what I'm saying? To look at her as anything. Yeah.
Oh
It's like,
no, but that's what I mean. She was like that's what I mean. It was her as a kid.
She was like a teenager or something back then.
Yeah.
And this one is, you know, it got like all the books in the pages to it and shit like that. Like I have so hopefully nobody don't fucking get my my little code off this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? But
Is that
you know,
code still valid, bro?
Maybe. You'd be surprised after years. You never know. Shit, $1 at the pawn shop for the Blu-ray. You know, and it comes with this whole book. Yeah. You know, I mean, but the whole point of showing this is the puppeteering in here was fucking awesome. It's on the level of what somebody was talking about that
the Hensons?
No, the other Jim Henson, Dark Crystal.
Yep, Baron over to that Dark Crystal.
The Dark Crystal, yeah, of course, man. It's on the level of the Dark Crystal, man.
Yeah, I mean, I think puppeteering as a art probably needs to come back because I think that CG is just not as good, man. It just isn't, and there's no way around it. There's some good CG, there's some really good stuff, but for the most part, CG just isn't as entertaining or engaging.
No, it's not. And it's funny. You ever seen the first Sam Raimi Spider-Man in 4K?
No, I've not seen it in 4K.
Don't.
Does it expose the business too much?
No. What it is, and this is what I noticed, man. Look, when you see anything in 4K, it shows how it shows how detailed everything is. Like you can see the fucking stitching in fucking Batman's clothes.
That's
if you're looking at the Dark Knight, if you're looking at the Dark Knight and you're looking at it in 4K, you can see the stitching in this motherfucker's costume. That's you can see the sweat come off his face. You can see all this shit. Now, just imagine when you sit there and you watch something and the 4K ends up being so detailed that it ends up pulling the CGI apart from what was real. So basically you can tell what was CGI in the background compared to, two people, like let's say Spider-Man and the Green Goblin fighting in front of the green screen. You can act in 4K, you can see it, you can see the separation on there. And the thing is, if 4K is gonna make everything look so fake, I don't need 4K, man. If it's gonna pull me away from seeing shit, especially like a lot of your CGI movies, when what's real and what CGI looks completely separate, instead of it looking cohesive, like if it's all happening.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about earlier. CGI already has that issue in general because the lighting can never really look the exact same as it does in real life. So what happened in 4K? That's why I'm joking using the term exposing the business. But when you are a filmmaker and you create a shot, you're creating it for the fidelity that is being seen in. And so if technology comes along and increases that fidelity, but that's what past what you were able to hide or show, like you said, you're going to see it's going to be obvious what's CG and what's not, because now there's so much more lighting, there's so much more,
Right.
you see so much more detail that
Right.
you were that whenever they created it, it was never meant to be seen in that amount of detail, because that amount of detail
Right.
wasn't even available yet. So now all those details are exposed and it looks worse. Like I
Man.
said, it's exposing the business. So if you obscured something, if you use Vaseline at the bottom of a speeder, it looks
Ooh.
totally different in 4K. And I'm using that because
Right.
they actually did use Vaseline to hide the wheels. And Eric K, the Wrench King in the chat says, look at the Ninja Turtles movies compared to the CG ones. The Turtles from the original ones in the 90s look so much better because they're real costumes. And
Yeah,
they
it's
look,
real costumes. Yeah, there you go. Eric
and
K,
it
my
takes
man.
work.
Yeah, there you go.
It is harder work, you know, and for the actors. If you remember the Grinch, when Jim Carrey did the Grinch and he had to go through all that makeup, it sucked. It really sucked. It was like 3 to 4 hours of makeup each day. Then you got to go film for 10 to 15 hours. Then you got to take the makeup off, and you got to sleep somehow for a couple hours and wake up and do it all over again. So I mean, that's not fun. But CG just looks so much worse. It's just not practical anymore. You know, practical is more practical for a reason.
Right.
So yeah, it's the Twitter. Yeah, follow 24 on Twitter. I don't know if you should follow me. I've been posting some crazy stuff. I mean, don't
follow
look up why
B-Dub, too.
Triple H. Don't look up why Triple H is trending, man. I think that it's other reasons, but I saw some wild shit that I put on Twitter because I saw it, so everybody else had to see it. It was stuff that you don't want to see at all.
Yeah. Damn.
Hell, Cosmic Fusion.
Cosmic Fusion, my man. What's up? What's up, kids? What's good? What's good, man? It's great to have you here, man. Baron Norman Tax said Jim Henson's a storyteller. You ever seen that? Jim Henson's a storyteller?
I have not.
Yeah, that was
it a
actually very
documentary?
good, man. No, it was actually it's a show that he actually had. I'm not sure if it was a movie first and then it became a show, but it was more like how can I explain this, man? It was more like an anthology show where
Okay.
every show was about something different, but it was done with the puppeteering and real folks. And like I said, you can look it up. It was Baron Norman Tax says one season in 1988. Yeah. And it was actually one of the last things he did before he passed, man. So
Oh wow.
yeah, it was actually pretty damn good. And actually for kids, I think it might have been a little too scary for kids. And I think that's probably it was straight up, man. It was kind of raw, man, for Jim Henson. It was more of his harsher, darker, more like on the level of a Labyrinth or Dark Crystals. It wasn't like Fraggle Rock, like, you know, everybody, you know, singing and dancing. It was more on some, you know, on some crazy shit. It was kind of like the Twilight Zone, but you know, but for kids, you know, different things happening. Everything wasn't good. You know what I'm saying? And you know, as far as like the shows were you know, a lot of fucked up things were happening, and you know, by the end of the episode, they find a way to fix it. But it was just a lot of different things happening, man. It was, like I said, it was an anthology show, man. And yeah, man, it's, you know, if you guys never heard of it or never watched it, you should give it a chance. You remember that show, Amazing Stories?
Amazing stories. I don't know if I
Amazing
remember.
Stories. I mean, look it up, man. Amazing Stories. If you remember Amazing Stories, back in the day, it was a Jim Henson version of the Amazing Stories. If anybody remembers that, anybody in the chat remember Amazing Stories? Or I mean, I know V does probably looking that up. It was actually a show called I can't remember if it was The Amazing Stories or Amazing Stories, but it ran for a few seasons, and it kind of gave off a feel like that. And it came out in I think it was like the 70s or the 80s. I can't remember if it was ABC or NBC, but they had a show called The Amazing Stories. Or CBS. It might have been CBS. It has to be one of the three. Eric K says 24/7 Fusion Media. I think I remember that. Yeah, and it was like a whole bunch of just weird different shit. It was an anthology show. It wasn't like the same
85?
people every episode. It was a bunch of different shit happening, and it was on some like miracles and different things. Like it was like some a real amazing ass shit happening, man. And it and the story. Jim Henson's a storyteller reminds me of Amazing Story. But
It looks
done
like it came out in 1985. It was based off the
Right.
magazine. Steven Spielberg was the one who was ahead of it.
right.
It
As
was-
a matter of
it was
fact,
his thing.
Baron
With
Norman
two
Tack said it. Yeah, and Baron Norman Tack said it was based off of a magazine.
Yeah, ran 2 seasons on NBC. Ran 2 seasons on NBC between 85 and 87. Total of 45 episodes. And like I said, I'm not sure. Maybe Henson did some of them because it was the anthology series where the showrunner was Steven Spielberg.
Right.
We
And-
would use the term showrunner. They would call it whatever they called it back then. But it was Steven
Right.
Spielberg then.
Well, like I could say, should I, it's your boy, you know what I'm saying? I'll let your boy. Like I could say, I remember all this shit, man. And Jim Henson's a storyteller reminded me of that. And it was just a dude, it was a puppet, sitting there, looking crazy as shit, looked like a troll or whatever. And he was sitting there spitting all these fucking stories about different shit. And every episode was about something different, man. And it was, and like I said, it was for kids, but it was kind of adult in how dark it was. It wasn't adult like sexual or nothing like that. But you can tell maybe it didn't last that long because it was targeted for kids, but I think it might have spooked the kids to watch it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, in general, though, if you look at a lot of stuff that we look at for kids back in the days, even from the 90s back, a lot of it had way more complexity and way more detail than what we do now. I think we maybe coddle our kids a little bit with a lot of entertainment because, like, they were exposed, like we were exposed. Fucking Batman animated series was dealing with crack houses and shit like that. Like, you know what I mean? So it was like different. There was different little concepts. Even you watch G.I. Joe from the 80s, and even if it wasn't like violent and sexual, I mean, you don't see blood, they shoot lasers instead of bullets and shit. Like they would have really depressing concepts. Like, what if the world was taken over by Cobra, which it looks like we're living in now? But like, it was really kind of darker stuff than you would think kids would be exposed to. Yeah, Eastland Burkholder. Hell, I think you're right. It spooked the parents, not the kids. The kids probably loved it.
I know somebody was spooked to where that motherfucker didn't get a whole lot of life.
It didn't get a third season.
Yeah.
And fucking Batwoman did.
Oh man, I heard it's about to get a 4th season, bro. Like,
sheesh. Yeah, Johnny Quest. Johnny Quest was real as shit. He was the guy get cut up. It was real shit.
Yeah, I remember Johnny Quest, man. That was some good shit, man. I used to love those serious Hanna-Barbera shows, man. Them shits were actually pretty good. Like, I love Johnny Quest, the Herculoids. Ooh, the
Herculoids.
Man, I miss that
Man.
shit. Fucking Space Ghost. Man, I love Space Ghost, man. To me, he was like Batman in space, man. He was on some, that's what he reminded me of, man. Now I think about it, Space Ghost reminded me of Batman in space, but you could never know. You never knew who the fucking secret identity was. Like, he never took off a mask. He was Space Ghost no matter what the fuck. He slept like that, ate like that. He just looked like that, man, with the mask and the whole shit.
Honestly, you know what? If you learn nothing from this episode of the Primetime Kings, now might be the time. If you're thinking of old 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s cartoons or TV shows or whatever, now's the time to track it down on physical media. Don't just use the internet. Go to the, because I'll head to the thrift shops sometimes. Head to your Goodwills or whatever local Salvation Army, whatever local thrift shops. Head to your pawn shops, and then if you can't find it there, then holler at eBay and stuff. But find as much physical media, and you might find still some deals on the internet. Find physical media for that old stuff. Now's the time, because you know in 5 to 10 years you only had the opportunity.
Yep. Especially like My Mama the Car, fucking Amazing Stories, fucking Jim Henson's The Storyteller, The Labyrinth. You know, there's a lot of good shit out there. I remember Mighty Max.
Mighty Max. SWAT
Crew.
Cats for the 90s kids.
Oh, SWAT Cats. Yeah, me and
SWAT
Vigilante were talking
What
about
was,
SWAT Cats earlier. Yup.
Yeah, Captain Planet, if you want to do that. Captain Caveman. Oh shit, the newer version of the Flintstones when they had, because remember they had like a more updated version of the Flintstones.
Yeah. You remember when they had Shmoo?
Shmoo, I do remember Shmoo.
Yeah, man. Hey, you know the little white motherfucker with feet and no arms, and he was just round with a smile, and he was all he was all happy and shit. Like he was just weird as shit. Yeah. Y'all remember the Shmoo? Don't act like y'all forgot, man. The classic Grimm tale, the classic Grimm's fairy tales. I remember those. I remember that, Baron. Damn.
Here's a Shmoo. Y'all remember the fucking Shmoo.
Oh, here we go.
Shmoo.
Yup. Y'all remember this motherfucker right here.
I know y'all remember the Shmoo. He
Yeah,
look
you
like a
remember
sperm
him?
now or a bowling pin, but he's the Shmoo.
Yeah,
Somebody
look like him in this white picture between the red and the yellow one. If you go up a little bit, no,
is it in between?
no, down. Go down a little bit more. The next level. Nah, there you go. That one. Look at that. He got that old ass out. Look at it.
The Shmoo.
Yeah, the Shmoo. Look at him, boy. Look at that.
Oh, they talking about the church. Oh Lord, was the Shmoo some evil shit that I wouldn't
Oh
know?
man, so what? Churchgoers didn't like his ass?
I get. Well, I mean, he looked kind of like a sperm.
But if I'm not mistaken, I remember either seeing him with like they put him out with Hanna-Barbera. So I can't remember if he showed up around Scooby-Doo or one of those characters, but yeah, he was able to I think he was able to multiply and stretch and do all kinds of little weird shit. But yeah, that was some of the old school shits, man, from back then, man. Little Abner. Yeah, matter of fact, he does come from Little Abner. He does come from, because it's funny. I seen some of the first Little Abner comic books come out, and I've seen some original Shmoo comic books, and those things are from like the Shmoo and all that. That's from like the 1940s and 50s. That's that shit is old as fuck, man. That's from that's some golden age stuff, man. So shit. I remember watching that shit and Andy Cap. I love Andy Cap. They changed him up though.
Man, more known for them hot fries than anything.
Yeah, man. He's a smoker, man. And back in like the 80s and 90s, they made him give up the cigarette, man. And then he also used to talk shit to. He had like a wife or a girlfriend, and he used to be on some old wife beating type shits. And they had to cut that shit out too. Yeah, man. He was like what's the name? Ralph Crandon with that, to the moon, Alice type shits. Yeah, like he'll pop your shits. So you have to be careful with that. Yeah.
Can't do that shit now.
I know.
At all.
It's funny, man. You think about a lot of these shows like that where wife beating was what some of these motherfuckers did back then, man. And it was a part of their character, bro. Like it's a part of
It's different. It's wild as shit now. Still kind of wild.
Yep. He did. He quit smoking when Al Cap stopped smoking. Yep. He did. Yep. And now the son does it. If I'm not mistaken, I think the dad passed away, man. Yeah, I'm still keeping up with Sunday comics and shit like that, dude. Look. That's why I love pop culture. I love movies, TV shows. I love comic books. I love comic strips. I love all this shit, man. I'm a huge fan of old school, Jim Davis, Garfield. I love Charles Schultz. I love like anything Peanuts. Charlie Brown, the Peanuts Gang. I remember when they had their own TV show, the Peanuts Gang TV show. I remember that. I love all the holiday specials. And right now, they have new shows coming out on Apple TV with Snoopy. They have one where he's going to the moon and shit. Him in Woodstock. It's like, I don't know, something between like that kind of shit and the Smurfs, Garfield and Heathcliff and all that has a has a certain little, place in your boy's heart, man. I'm still a big ass kid. Like, I'll fuck around and sit in front of the TV with my legs crossed in Indian style with a bowl of cereal. And hell, I know there's no more Saturday morning cartoons, but fuck, I own cartoons. I'll take a Garfield something or Smurf season 1. I'll pop that bitch in and act like it's Saturday morning. I got a whole collection of Super Friends and shit like that. I miss that kind of shit. I remember watching like Thundar the Barbarian. Dude, man, I miss a bunch of shit, man. You remember like the wacky races that
wacky races,
yeah, they have the Laugh Olympics.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man, that was like when Huckleberry Hound and all them used to go against Scooby Doo and them, with Dee Dastardly and all this other shit. I miss all that kind of shit, man. Or sometimes when they would just sit there and they ride the fucking that big ass balloon, it was like they called it an arc with the balloon on that bitch, and it would float around and they get in all kind of trouble. I miss that shit, man. Dog, I was there with it, man.
Fan of that shit. I mean, you talk about Garfield. I remember when I was younger, I used to go to the library and get like the Garfield comic strips, like all the damn time. They knew me just for those damn comic strips. Shout out to the Southfield Library in Michigan. I used to go there all the damn time when I was in middle school and go. Oh, damn it! Sorry, I'm knocking the USB shit out. Go to the because they had comics and stuff, and so they had like these collections of Garfield, and so I would check those out all the time. So yeah, I'm a huge fan of that, and I remember the Laugh Olympics. I remember Dick Dastardly. I remember
Dick Dastardly, man.
I remember Muttley. I remember all those characters. Penelope Pit stopping them. I remember all those characters, and man, now's the time. Like having this conversation, like man, I really do want to pick up some of this physical media,
dude. Hey, look. I'm gonna tell you this, bro. I'm gonna tell you this.
Muttley, New Bomb Turk. We remember Muttley and Rocky and Bullwinkle.
Yeah, the New Bomb Turk and Loose Cannon '84. What's going on, my brothers? Yeah, man. Damn, great to have y'all here, man. Rocky and Bullwinkle. Yeah, man. With Boris and Natasha. Yeah, man.
Natasha.
It's crazy.
Fuck. What was the dog in the kid?
Underdog.
No, not Underdog. I love Underdog. I want the Underdog tattoo. But like the dog and the kid with the time machine in between Rocky and Bullwinkle.
Oh, you mean yeah, you were talking about
they made a movie out of that damn thing.
Right. That was
you guys know
Pete. Was it Pete? What the fuck? He was a smart ass dog.
Peabody? Is it something?
Peabody, like Mr. Peabody and
Mr. Peabody,
Simon
yes, Mr. Peabody.
And Simon?
Yes. Is it Simon? I think you're right, Simon and Mr. Peabody. Let me check.
Yes, Simon and Mr. Peabody. Yep. And that was with George of the Jungle, Dudley Do Right, and Stop That Pigeon. Yeah, I remember that. Look, I'm a huge fan of all that old stuff, man. Along with Rocky and Bullwinkle and all that. It wasn't
Simon, it was Sherman. Thank you,
Sherman. That's right.
Sherman.
I knew it was something. Yeah, there you go. Simon, Sherman.
The movie and the cartoon and everything out of that. They made that a couple times.
Dude, I remember the Dudley Do Right movie with Brandon Fraser.
I do that, yeah, because he did George of the Jungle.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did George of the Jungle, the first one.
Each other, yeah.
Dude, look, man. I'm like I say, man. I remember all that classic shit, man. And actually, it's a lot better than all the shit. I would rather have my kids watch all that than watch all the fucking shit that they putting out now, man.
Yeah.
Oh,
if for the blokes, I remember Wallace and Gromit. I don't know if everybody fucked with Wallace and Gromit.
Yeah. I remember Wallace and Gromit, man. I remember them too, man. Those are like the clay, the stop motion, yeah.
Stop motion. What's the name of that company that does it? It's something Ard or something like that. I forgot. Aardman. I think Aardman is the name of the people who did that. But yeah, I remember Wallace and Gromit and Chicken Run. That was a little later.
Y'all remember Kung Fu-y?
Hong Kong Fu. Somebody mentioned him in the chat. Yeah.
I didn't.
Pat mentioned him. I think it was mentioned earlier.
Hong Kong Fu. Yeah. Hong Kong Fu. Yeah, that shit was boy.
Yeah.
That shit was some good shit, man. That shit makes me want Gumby. Yep, with Pokey and the Blockheads.
I'll be honest.
Matter of fact, I remember when they were showing that, it was right around time where they had Davy and Goliath, and you had to learn some old Christian shit with that.
Yep. Davy and Goliath.
Oh, Davy.
Oh, Davy. That was Sunday. Sunday when you was getting up early, thought you was gonna catch that Saturday morning feel. Hell nah, you was catching David and Goliath and Gumby on Sunday mornings. Y'all remember that shit? Don't act like I wasn't there.
Remember
Scat
Davey and
Man.
Goliath? But
Scat Man was Hong Kong. Huh.
Man was
Danger Mouse.
Danger Mouse.
Oh.
Shit.
Yeah, I remember Danger Mouse. Matter of fact, I used to have. Or do I still have it? I think I have it in storage. I have the whole Danger Mouse collection, bro. The whole box set.
Hmm.
I have the whole Danger Mouse collection. Oh man, I keep telling fam that I need to go. I need to go to storage. Hopefully,
Yeah.
I can get there. Yeah, I have so much shit. Like, look, everything behind me is just a few hundred movies, and I mean, just think, everything's from the floor. Like you guys see me from the chest up. I'm sitting down. You actually got another about 2 or 3 feet down, from the ground all the way up. This thing has to be at least maybe but maybe 5.5 feet tall. All these movies going all the way across from one end to the other. Just a few hundred. I own over 10,000. So, dude, man, I can't wait till I just fucking dig into that shit, man. I got over 100 fucking Disney movies on DVD, man, but it's not new Disney. It's everything, dude, like everything from like the 50s and 60s where they actually started really putting out their movies, like The Cat from Outer Space and shit like that. You guys remember The Cat from Outer Space? You ever heard of that?
I don't. It sounds familiar, but I cannot think of it offhand.
Yeah, it was an old Disney movie, The Cat from Outer Space. Yeah, it was some good shit, man. Blockbuster left 24/7, never left Blockbuster. Yeah, man. Like I said, I used to be a manager at Blockbuster, man. So, The Cat from Outer Space, man. That was some good shit, man.
On Disney
Yeah.
Plus, I never heard of this. Now that I'm thinking.
Yeah,
about it.
man. That matter of fact, Darby O'Gill. That Sean Connery did a Disney movie called Darby O'Gill. I own that too, man. Sean Connery. Yeah, a lot of people don't know Sean Connery did a Disney movie back in the 60s called Darby O'Gill.
Yeah, it looks like Darby O'Gill and the Little People.
Yeah, that's Sean. Yeah, man, dude.
And actually, it came out 59, so right
Oh
before.
well,
the 60s.
fuck.
Older than that. So this is
He
before
was young
James
as
Bond.
fuck, man. He looked. Yeah, not the new ones, bro. There you go, 0 Hour. Jam. Yeah, nah, fuck that. Escape from Witch Mountain. You know what? I have that over here in front of me, and I have part 1 and part 2 of the original. Like, because they have a movie called Escape from Witch Mountain. They did the remake with The Rock. The Rock did the remake of the movie, so there's actually 3 of them. So but the original Escape from Witch Mountain was with the girl that did she did the movie where she had a twin. What the fuck was that? But it was the same chick.
No, not Freaky Friday. What's the other one? You talking about Lindsay Lohan?
No, we talking about back in the 60s. She was the
60s.
main Disney chick that they used for a lot of movies. She was a redheaded chick, and she was the chick from Escape from Witch Mountain. And like I said, from back in the 60s, they had a part 1 and a part 2.
I don't.
That
I'm not even gonna. I don't know nothing.
And then The Rock did the remake it had to be about 15. Had to be about 15 years ago. The Rock did the remake for Escape to Witch Mountain, and that was done by Disney also. So Escape to Witch Mountain has 3 movies behind it. 2 were by the same cast back in the 60s or so. Yeah, back in the early mid 60s, and then The Rock did the remake about 15 years ago, maybe 20. Yeah, and Darby O'Gill, you had Sean Connery singing. Yeah, man. If anybody never heard Sean Connery singing, go check out Darby O'Gill and the Little People, man.
So I think maybe you're talking about Kim Richards. Looks like Escape to Witch Mountain came out in 75 and Return from Witch Mountain came out 78.
Oh damn! I thought they were older. Okay, yeah. You're probably right. Yeah, there you go, man.
And I guess there was a television film called Beyond Witch Mountain.
I
in the
didn't know
82,
that. Shit.
but it
Shit, yeah.
ignores one of the sequels because it's
It
a
might have been the
TV
second
movie.
one.
Yeah, ignored the second one. It looks like so
Right.
it was a
If
TV
that's the
movie.
case, man, I can't see something coming out and ignoring the first movie. Because if the first movie was trash, it would have never came out with number 2.
Yeah.
Oh
So this
man,
was
yeah, man.
a TV attempt at a sequel, and then obviously I remember I remember The Rock doing something.
Yeah. The Rock did the remake for Escape to Witch Mountain, and I own that also. All that's in storage, man. But I know I got it. You can actually buy Escape from Witch Mountain 1 and 2. You could buy them together, like a double feature from Disney, and I own that. So yeah, man, there's a lot of good shit out there, y'all. There's a lot of good stuff. And look, the thing is, you don't have to put $1 into Disney's pocket. Not today. Everything that we're talking about, everything, you can buy that, all that shit secondhand. You can go online, find it, buy it up, and just make sure you keep it. Don't lose it. Don't give it away. And yeah, because the way Disney is starting to take a lot of old shit. You go to Dumbo, they take out the black crows. You go to Splash, they want to CGI extra hair on Daryl Hannah's butt. Stupid shit, man. And and you're gonna keep doing that. You go to Lilo and Stitch, the first one.
Yeah, she was in the dryer or some shit.
Yeah, in the dryer or whatever. And now they want to put a pizza box over it. Like she was just
no sense.
Stupid. It don't even make sense. Like, what the fuck are we doing here, man? And then the thing is also is how are you Disney? You own the Muppets, but you want to censor the Muppet Show or tell people put a warning on there, like something's racist or something's weird about it. The Muppet Show? You're gonna censor the Muppet Show? I never saw anything that was racist. Of course, they have stereotypes on there, but what the fuck, man? It is what it is. It was a show of its time, but they weren't directly poking fun to people. Yeah, they might have like a hillbilly or whatever, or whatever. I mean, that's what the fuck they did, man. But they weren't poking fun. They wasn't making fun of nobody, and they weren't being racist towards anything. But since Disney owns the Muppets, they put a warning label on the Muppet Show. Well, before you watch this, be careful. La la la. It's like, get the fuck out of here.
You got to get physical media, man.
You got to get the physical media. And for some reason, they won't release season 4 of the Muppet Show, which was probably one of the best seasons because they had Mark Hamill, they had Luke Skywalker, C-3PO. Dude, they got the Star Wars cast on there. And they won't release that shit on DVD, man. They only released the first 3 seasons.
That's crazy. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I got season 3 sitting right over there, and season 1 and 2 is in storage. But season 3,
how many seasons were there of the original Muppet Show?
If I'm not mistaken, I think it was 4 or 5. But the 4th season, I think it's 4 seasons, and the 4th one had the whole cast of Star Wars on there. Or I think it had Luke, C-3PO, and it had R2-D2. I can't remember if it had Han, Leia, or Chewbacca. And yeah, and dude, it was good. It was great, man. That was one of the most memorable seasons of Sesame Street. Was when Mark Hamill came on there and some of the cast of Star Wars, man.
Yeah.
And for some reason they're supposed to have released that shit years ago, and they never did. And matter of fact, when they were getting ready to release it, I think Disney bought them up, man. So they weren't able to release it, and Disney put a halt on it. And I don't even know how you can even watch season 4 now of the Muppet Show. But I got season 1 through 3, man. So
did it ever show up on VHS? That's probably the only way somebody go to VHS.
Maybe, man. That's a good question. I never tried to look for it on VHS.
Can't think of anything else.
Man. But y'all, I'm going to be honest with y'all. I got my little girl. She'll be here in maybe 20, 30 minutes.
Yeah, I was wondering.
Yeah. I mean, shit, dude, I've been having a great time with y'all, man, talking to you and everybody else. Gonzo's literally a walking dick joke.
He kind of is, man. Even as a kid, I thought that. because his
Man.
face looks like balls in the dick, in the eyes and the nose. So even 9, 10-year-old vigilante said, "Wait a second, something's not right here."
Man.
But they got his ass in the dress now. Somebody said that in the chat. Yeah, loose cannon.
Yeah. Actually, I saw that. Yeah, he's supposed to be
Isn't
yeah,
he trans? Hey, baby guys,
something like that.
baby
Yeah.
guys are too, because they want to let you know your babies, not even your kids, your babies can be trans. Just to let you know, if you didn't know,
Right.
if you didn't know.
Damn. Baron Norman Tax says the Great Space Coaster. We wish that it would be released. I remember the Great Space Coaster. It's the Great Space Coaster.
Coaster.
Get on board with the Great Space Coaster.
Royalty
Get on
issue
board.
with music.
Yeah, I miss that shit, man. Yeah, that's about the only time you guys hear me sing about any kind of shits. So, yeah, but it was some good stuff, man, and I miss it, man. And you know, like I say, man, it was great, kind of reaching back, and you know, hell, we got to have more conversations like this, man. You know, bringing up old shit and talk about the shit that we used to love, and you know, things that we miss, and to some folks, it was, you know, some things that we kind of forgot about, man. In case
I learned
like,
about shows. I didn't know about my mother in the car.
Yeah, it's kind of like it's one of those things. It's like out of sight, out of mind, and it's like it's nobody's fault. But you know, think about how much stuff you've seen over your lifetime, and you know how much stuff that gets kicked out, and you know it takes for a conversation with your boy.
Yeah.
Because I'll sit there and I'll bring up all that shit, man. I remember that shit like it was yesterday, man. And I might not remember it to the T, but yeah, man. I mean, dude, you about to make me start looking up some stuff too, man. I got to hit Google, man, and start looking and seeing. Yeah.
Hey, at the end of the day, listen, there were some other stories we could have talked about. We talked about Ghostbusters Afterlife. We talked about some timely stuff. We talked about even the funding, that ESG shit, where it looks like the shadow funding for these failure ass shows.
Right.
But like, we can only dwell on entertainment being shitty so long before we say, hey, yo, there's so much great entertainment that I either didn't see or forgot. Right. I remember loving SWATcast. I don't remember the plots of SWATcast like that. I've smoked a lot of weed and drunk a lot of liquor since I was 8 or 9 years old. So I don't know what the fuck. You know what I mean? I got to rewatch that shit and enjoy it again. Even it's been a while since I rewatched the DCEU or DCAU. Where you see, you know, Batman, Superman.
The animated universe, yo.
And I got some of them on ghetto DVDs. I need to just get the official ones because I burnt.
Oh, you got you some bootlegs.
I bootlegged it myself back in the day,
right?
And just been rolling with that. I'm like, man, I need to just get the official joints so I can have the special feature. Only official one I got is Superman animated series on DVD from like 2007 or whatever they did it. But we have to, we got to wax nostalgic because we got to remind us of the good stuff. And again, let us know, you know. I know everybody don't know everything we mentioned. I didn't know everything we mentioned. That's how we learn. Oh shit, you know, I want to check this out. I want to check that out. Hell, even new stuff that comes out, I'm not going to check it out unless I get ready. Like you guys are talking about Ghostbusters, everyone's positive on it.
Right.
No, I'm gonna check it out. I wasn't going to check it out off the strength of them putting shit out because I don't trust Hollywood for no reason, and they lost that benefit of the doubt.
Right. Yeah.
And you got to remember when they did have it, when they did make good material, and go to that. If we still love the stuff, because we're not getting nothing new, and we can only say woke stuff so long.
Hey, you know, it's funny. 0 Hour Discussion says he loves some Gene Kelly. You know what? Singing in the Rain and all that. Look, I got some Gene Kelly movies behind me. Gene Kelly, Fred Astaire. Actually, those two guys are some of the best dancers that I've ever seen in my life. People used to think, oh, Usher can dance. Usher ain't shit compared to Gene Kelly and Fred Astaire, man. Even Michael Jackson, as good as he was, he couldn't fucking touch Gene Kelly or Fred Astaire. Fuck no. And I've seen too much Gene Kelly. I've seen too much Fred Astaire to know the difference. And I own box sets of both of those dudes, the greatest dancers to ever live. Next to the was that the Scat brother? It was these two black brothers that were actually pretty damn good, and they used to dance with these guys. We're talking about back in like the 40s and shit like that, dude. Back then, dancing was look, back in Hollywood, back in the day, you couldn't just be an actor. You had to act, sing, and fucking dance, and be able to put two or all three of them together. So, dude, you talking about people had to be multi-talented to make it.
motherfuckers today they couldn't survive or couldn't make it in Hollywood back in the 20s, 30s, 40s, and 50s because they only have one of those talents or maybe even two. But to have all three, how many people can you? Some people can act and some people can sing nowadays, but a lot of motherfuckers can't dance. So, bro, it's huge, man. That's why look. Before we go, I'll admit this. For a long time, I used to kind of shit on dance movies, you know, like shit with Gene Kelly, you know, Fred Astaire, whatever. And one day I sat down to watch it was all because I was watching Xanadu with Gene Kelly and Olivia Newton-John with the leader from the fucking Warriors. And the reason why I started watching it because I knew the leader of the fucking Warriors, you know, Warriors come out and play. Yeah. The leader was in the movie. And I was like, well, fuck. It has Olivia Newton-John from Grease. It got gangsta-ass warriors up in this motherfucker. And then I started watching Gene Kelly. That's how I ended up liking the movie. But what I started realizing was, and this is what I slept on, was how hard it was for people like Olivia Newton-John or John Travolta to have to, you know, basically have to sing, rap, dance in just one show because you know, you have to sit there and be able to do all that shit. And I was like, damn. And it's like I didn't appreciate the hard work that went into having to sit there and learn dance routines and shit like that. And once I started looking, I love musicals now. I don't give a fuck if I lose my, you know, my ghetto pass or whatever. Dog, I love musicals. I appreciate them for what they are.
I don't even want a ghetto pass.
Dog, I'm just saying, you know, some people like, you can't go back home and say that. Well, I don't give a damn about all that. I'm just saying it's like, you know, I'm just admittedly saying that, hey, there's a lot of respect that you have to give to these guys that have to sit there. They have to learn their lines of acting. They have to learn the songs to sing. And on top of that, have to learn a fucking routine to dance. Yeah. And that's hard to do, man.
On film. And you got to also remember, you know, you talking about the 50s,
and not fuck up.
40s. Bro, film is not cheap. So they don't got time to waste a take. You know what I mean? So you got to those takes on point because
the Nicholas brothers.
Yeah. And somebody, Nicholas brothers were doing.
I think that's who it was. It was these two black dudes that were dancing back then, and they were able to keep up with Gene. I heard they were fucking phenomenal, and I heard that even when we saw them in movies, they had to play second fiddle to the actors. They couldn't see. I heard they could probably dance as well, or probably outdance Gene Kelly and Fred Astaire. But the thing is, they weren't the stars.
Mm.
Man, there's a lot of good shit out there, y'all. So,
yeah,
man,
and I hadn't heard of them, and now I'm checking them out.
Dude, if you could, I mean, you could sit there and look at like little dance routines they did. These dudes were fucking, oh man, bro.
Yeah, they jumping off tables and shit.
Dude, doing splits, like they'll jump off the table, hit the ground, and fucking do a split and get right back up and just be dog without busting their nuts, dude. Dog, it's fucking amazing what these fucking people were doing, man.
Yo,
and
this shit should. I mean, well, let me make sure is this public domain. I think this is public domain. Let me see. The film is Stormy Weather that this clip is from. I'm gonna see if it's
Unix.
Oh, Stormy Weather film. I know we were supposed to end. I know, and if your daughter is coming, you know, you can go ahead. So this is.
I might have about 3-4 more minutes, but yeah, man.
Okay, well that's not much. Let me see. I just want to make sure it's public domain. The work is public domain. Hey! So we can go ahead and play it.
Yeah, let's do it.
So this is
something real quick.
Film Stormy Weather. It's Nicholas Brothers. It looks like Cab Calloway is involved. So I know somebody said this is the whitest show.
That's what I was thinking about Cab Calloway. Yeah, man. I you know, it's been a minute, man. So of course I got a couple names jumbled up, but I know.
Real quick, this is our. Where does it say?
Yeah, there you go. Yep.
Yeah, this is the film. This is the thing. And where does it say this work is public domain? Because it's old as shit. Okay, whatever. So we hope it should be public domain. Don't sue us, YouTube. Y'all don't give a shit about the rights like this. And yeah, there was a story that Way Down talked about. I mean, we could talk about, but I know you got 2 minutes for your daughter coming, and we got. Yeah, I think that's it. God damn. So they were putting in work.
They did that shit, bro.
Sheesh, the Nicholas brothers. Shout out to the Nicholas brothers.
There you
And
go, man. Shout out to them dudes,
I'm gonna
man.
say something else, man. Listen, you want to talk about people? You got all these woke actors who don't really provide nothing. They want to complain about prejudice. There's no doubt in the 40s, those brothers were underpaid and probably got
Man.
shot on by the industry they was working in. So, like, I'm not saying that it's like those brothers don't get celebrated like some newbies will, and will talk all this woke shit. That shit took athleticism. That took coordination. These are continuous shots. There was no editing, CGI. They were doing like a good minute segment, jumping over people, one shot. Then they, my back got thrown out. That was incredible.
Again, watching that. Yeah, man. And you know what? There's a lot of that out there, man. And again, you got Gene Kelly, you got Fred Astaire, and they did movies with these guys. So, along with them having their own shits, but dude, you had a lot of amazing shit out there, man. And that's why, like me, I love black and white. Like I used to hate black and white. I respect it now, man. Black and white, silent films. Doc, if you love cinema and you love movies, dude, of course to each their own. But me, I'm not by. The only thing I don't fuck with is chick flicks. I'm not down with that crying shit. Other than that, dog, I'm good. I watch cartoons. I watch horror. I watch comedy. I watch musicals. I watch black and whites. It don't even matter, bro. I love it all, man. So, man, I appreciate you, man, bringing that up, man, and showing that to us, man. And thank you to the chat and everybody that figured out that it was a Nick. I knew it was some brothers, and I of course, I'm not Googling or nothing like that. But yeah, you guys hit it, hit the nail on the head. And like I said, man, we have a smart chat, man. People, were able to help us out and point us in the right direction of who is who and what's what. But I knew what I was getting at, and thank y'all for helping us out with that, man.
Talk to Graham July. I talked to my grandma. I'm gonna bring up the Nicholas brothers. She remember them. She's like,
she yeah. She probably have a story or two or tell us some movies. Tell you some movies. Hey, check out this and that.
Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Zach. Great to have you here, man. Cosmic Fusion, you're awesome, man. Loose Cannon 84, Baron Norman Tag, 0 Hour Discussions with JM Cruz. Great to have you here, my brother, man. Damn. And let me see, Pat S. The Islington girl, Rough Girl. Man, let's see. Trying to see if I didn't miss any. New Bomb Turk, my man. There you go. Great to have you here, Tim Possible. Eric K, my man. There you go. Let me see. Anybody else I'm missing? I'm probably missing a shitload of fucking other people, man. Loose Cannon 84. Great to have you here, bro. Thank you, man. And I'm going through this chat. I'm looking through all this. And Baron Norman Tag, my brother. Yeah, man. He was actually waiting. He was the first person in the chat, man. Darth Hatcher.
Yeah. You still here?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm just looking. Yeah, I'm just looking. Yeah, McKinney Draws. Mark the Infinitely Tired. Appreciate you, my brother, for stopping by. I miss you, man. Shit, hopefully I see you again, man. And matter of fact, we didn't get too much because I scrolled all the way up to the first chat. So obviously it wasn't a lot said, but if there's a lot said, then you won't get to the top chat. I got to the exact top one all the way down to the bottom, man. So I appreciate y'all for that, man. And this channel does deserve a lot more views in a time where we see all the negatives in the world. This kind of discussion gives us more hope that great entertainment ain't gone. Yeah, man. And if it takes for like me, Vigilante, Baron Norman Tag, and and a bunch of other brothers to come and bring that shit back and back into the into the fold, or at least bring it back to the light, then shit, man, I'm all for it, man. And I mean, like I said, I got over 10,000 DVDs, a bunch of other shit. I mean, there's a lot of stuff to talk about, man. So I know this is kind of depressing times, but dog, we don't got to stay depressed when we got a bunch of other shit to fucking look forward to. And again,
like I say, sometimes in order to move forward, sometimes we have to go back a little bit, man.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing wrong
Hey,
with that,
hey.
man.
A lot of stuff can be had for cheap or free. You know what I mean?
Oh,
There's still a lot of this is on YouTube for free. If you can't go out there and go to the thrift shops and everything, but like
Right.
if you go to a thrift shop,
Thrift shops, pawn shops.
pawn shop, and even eBay, sometimes you'll find some really good stuff for
There
some
you go.
really good prices.
You know, Salvation
out.
Army. You know, hit your Salvation Armies.
Even what's the fake book marketplace, whatever, wherever you see
Right.
resale,
There you go.
wherever you can see it, check it out. So I know
There
we
you
know
go.
24/7 got to get to mini 24/7. So we will I appreciate everybody here. I appreciate everybody here who liked us and shared us and subbed. If you haven't
Thank y'all,
subbed,
man.
please
Appreciate y'all.
sub to me if you haven't, but most of you guys already have, so there's no need to say that. Thank you for being here, man. I think that's it.
Yeah, so from Vigilante Williamson and 24/7 Fusion Media, we're the Primetime Kings. We love y'all, man. You guys take it easy, enjoy your evenings, and we're out. So peace.
Peace.